Indiana Jones and the Great Circle has got me feeling like I'm crazy, because I feel like the game I played and the game critics played are two drastically different games. I mean, somehow this thing is getting consistent 9 out of 10s.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to convince you of this by the end of the review, but I really believe that Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is an all-timer, and we're going to be talking about it like 20 years from now.
And I don't understand it.
I think Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is the best Xbox exclusive in years.
It's a phenomenon I like to refer to as Indiana Jones and the Great Circle jerk, because all of these critics seem to be whipped. The reality is, Indiana Jones and his Great Big Circle is a lot closer to a 6 out of 10. And by being closer to a 6 out of 10, what I really mean is it's actually a 4.5 out of 10. Yeah.
Careful!
Whoa. But hey, you know what? There are definitely some 9 out of 10 qualities in this game. Like the level design. Good God, the level design is a chef's kiss. Nay, not just a chef's kiss, but a full-blown chef's 4 intercourse meal. The environments and the attention to detail within those environments is immaculate. 10 out of 10. Exploring these environments to solve puzzles and find items that progress your character is also a 10 out of 10. Well, in the beginning of the game at least. It gets really bad later on, but you'll have to keep watching this video to understand what I mean. The sound effects are fantastic and feel authentic to the Indy franchise.
They're off! No!
As does that wonderful score by Gordy Hobb. Troy Baker's performance is pretty good too. I'd say it's an 8 out of 10.
What are you up to?
I mean, there's really nobody who could have done a better job than him, but there are times when Indiana straight up just sounds like Troy Baker.
I got you.
And those moments did rip me right out of the game.
Easy. You okay?
Many people say that this is even the best Indiana Jones story that we've gotten since the trilogy, but I disagree with that. I actually think that this story is the best one in the trilogy, sitting among its peers as marginally better than Crystal Skull, and way better than Dial of Destiny. Oh wait, shit. I guess there's other Indiana Jones movies. Okay, so before playing this game, I had only seen Raiders and Last Crusade one time when I was 6 years old. So check it out, I came into this game completely devoid of nostalgia, and I think that contributed a lot as to why I didn't like this game, but had an even bigger contribution as to why it got such high review scores, all the way up here.
If you'd shown this version of Indy's famous school to the 8-year-old version of me who cut his teeth aimlessly point-and-clicking his way around Marshall College in 1989's Indiana Jones and Last Crusade, the graphic adventure, I might have had you burnt at the stake.
I legitimately believe that nostalgia blinded some critics to the realities of this game. But what's interesting is the Great Circle inspired me to rewatch the entire original trilogy. And in doing so, I gained a whole new appreciation for the Indiana Jones franchise, because I was essentially watching them for the first time. And when the credits rolled at the end of The Last Crusade, I honestly kind of fell in love with the trilogy. But the high quality of these 3 movies only served to make the Great Circle look even worse in my eyes, because it doesn't even hold a candle to them.
It's really the best showcase for the incredible amount of granular detail MachineGames has stuffed into seemingly every surface in the Great Circle. From streak marks on freshly wiped glass to the slow trickle of wax from a candle lighting your way down an ancient stairwell.
Yeah, okay. Now, if only they had actually made sure that the AI wasn't utterly abysmal. Oh, here it comes. One final heave.
È ora di finirla. Ehi, ti faccio secco.
I'm going down, he says as he's going down.
Duck soup.
Duck soup. That the platforming wasn't boring as all hell.
There we go.
That the combat wasn't lacking in depth, and that the boss battles weren't unfinished.
Come on, big guy.
He's officially broken. And oh my god, we're just getting started here. That's just the tip of the iceberg, baby. In fact, the Great Circle was so devoid of adventure that I felt the need to come out here, into the real world, to find an adventure for myself. So far, I haven't found anything yet. And so I dressed up as my new favorite adventurer. I got the hat, I got the pants, I couldn't find a leather jacket, but you know what? Boy Scouts vest is the next best thing. And I know what you're thinking, where's the whip? Well, I went to a Catholic store, and I got a whip from them, yeah? Guy behind the counter said that this whip was perfect for somebody adventurous. And who could be more adventurous than Indiana Jones? I'll tell you who. This guy. Now I need to be perfectly clear with you guys here. I'm making this video because I have such a passionate disdain towards Indiana Jones and his great big circle. A passion that I have not felt in years. A hatred that may forever burn within my bones if I don't get all of my thoughts and feelings out into this video. And then put this video out into the internet on a website called youtube.com, which has a channel on it called Ren's Reviews, which is where you're watching this video right now. And listen, man, if you happen to like the game, well then more power to you. I'm honestly a little bit envious of you. I wish I could experience your joy. In fact, I wish that I wasn't me, but instead I wish that I was you. That I possessed the ability to enjoy the sweet carnal pleasures that Indiana Jones provides with his circle of greatness. This is all completely beyond my control. If it were up to me, I would love this game.
Hey, Dr. Jones, no time for love!
Like you do. But for some reason, the cosmos deemed it appropriate to shoulder the responsibility of exposing this game for what it truly is on me, placing the entire weight of the world on my back as though I were Atlas himself, who carries the greatest circle of all, Mother Earth. So if you, as an Indiana Jones fan, find this video upsetting in any way, just know that I am simply an instrument of the universe, following the ebbs and flows that the cosmos has laid out before me. And it is with that I must warn you. If you happen to enjoy Indiana Jones and his great big circle, not only will this video change how you feel about the game, but it will change your entire life. Say goodbye to your kids, your wife, your parents. Say goodbye to you. And say hello to the new you. The one who no longer cares for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. The one who made the right choice and went with HelloFresh, today's sponsor. The opposite of goodbye rotten. Hey you, yeah you, potential customer. Do you like food? Really? I like it too. I even eat it sometimes. But by God, it tasted so good when I ate HelloFresh's food after they sent it to me inside of the mail via postman. HelloFresh has more options to support your wellness journey than ever before. Oh, so many options. And a whole cat. She's gonna be real tasty. Dig into their biggest menu yet with 50+ dinner options and even more market items that suit any healthy lifestyle. My personal favorite thing about HelloFresh is that my girlfriend prepared it all for me. She said it was pretty easy to make too, and she didn't care for the pressure of being filmed while doing it. But I said, listen babe, you can choose from 30+ calorie smart and protein smart recipes each week, packed with fresh ingredients. Cool thing is that HelloFresh lets you customize all your goodies from week to week. You can get fit and wholesome, family, friendly, quike and easy, vegetarian, and more. They even got babies on there. Click the link in the description or use my code and get 10 free meals plus free breakfast for one life. One breakfast item per box while subscription is active if you're in the US. Outside the US, the local discount will apply. Clicking that link will genuinely help out the channel. So, big thanks to HelloFresh for the sponsorship. Now let's get back to the video. Okay, so to be clear, I think that MachineGames is a fantastic studio with incredibly talented developers. I mean, it's no secret that I absolutely love the first two mainline Wolfenstein games. But here's the simple fact, my guy. This game doesn't need to exist. And I'll tell you why. It's because the perfect Indiana Jones game already exists. It's called Uncharted, and it's the freshest adventure that money can buy.
Get your code on 30-ounce drinks today! Subway, where winners eat. Ow!
See, the Uncharted franchise perfectly extracted the essence of the Indiana Jones movies and adapted them to the gaming medium flawlessly. My point is, Indiana Jones has put so much of his DNA inside of Uncharted. The combat in Uncharted and the action scenes of Indy both feel like this seat-of-your-pants thrill ride where the main character is just sort of having to react to increasingly dire situations. I mean, Uncharted even uses the storytelling formula of Indiana Jones where they go into some kind of ancient, secret hidden room, solve a puzzle, get an item, or get some new information, only for the villain to be waiting for them when they get out of the place with a bunch of henchmen. Then the villain takes the item for themselves, and our hero has to go get it back. There's always some kind of light supernatural element tied into the story, whether it's an Ark of the Covenant, the Holy Grail, a lost city, or the very nectar from the Tree of Life itself. Even Elena is kind of like Nate's version of Marion, as she's the only love interest he had in the series that he kept coming back to. My point is, again, Uncharted is all already video game Indiana Jones. Yet MachineGames went so far out of their way to make sure that the Great Circle wasn't anything like Uncharted. But because the two franchises are so deeply intertwined, to stray from Uncharted is to stray from Indiana Jones. Like, for example, the first-person perspective, right? I think this game would have benefited more from being in third person.
The first-person perspective blesses the Great Circle with a fantastic sense of scale. Looking up in awe of the Great Pyramid, or staring out at a giant Nazi battleship perched atop a mountain in the Himalayas simply has a more pronounced effect at eye level.
Yeah, okay, man. You know what else gives you an even better sense of scale? Yeah, you guessed it. The third-person camera, which always has a man on screen to contrast with the immensity of the locations, whether it's a beautiful scenic locale or a capsized ship. Hey, newsflash! The third-person camera also allows for a game to be far more cinematic, since, you know, the camera can move. I think it makes a lot of sense to have your Indiana Jones game be cinematic. You know, since Indiana Jones was a kino in the cinemas. But putting it in first person worked to its detriment. It's so funky and clunky.
Look away!
When Indy holds up a toilet brush, it blocks 20% of the screen. And we're also limited to the fistfights being able to only fight one guy at a time, despite the fact that you're often approached by several at once. It makes exploration less intuitive, and then you're always having to fiddle with items in your item bag, and when you pull out your journal, you gotta look all the way down at it every time you open it up so you can see the entire map. It's a pain in the ass, man. And furthermore, when you're playing as an iconic character from a well-known property, most of the time, not always, but most of the time, you want them to be in third person, right? There's a reason that Batman games and Spider-Man games, hell, even Marvel Rivals are all in third person, because that perspective means you have a consistent reminder on screen that you are playing as a licensed character. And MachineGames knew this, which is precisely why they have the camera awkwardly zoom out into the third person perspective whenever you do any sort of platforming, purely so that they can remind you that you are in fact playing as Indiana Jones.
But we still want you to have those moments. Seeing his iconic silhouette with the hat and the whip, and so for things like cutscenes and environmental traversal, we pull the camera back for a third-person view.
See what I mean?
I've wanted to make an Indiana Jones game forever.
Oh, I see the problem here. They got the old Captain of the Chess Club's dirty little fingers in this game.
And as the years went on, I thought, who would be like the best studio in the world to make this? And it was my friends at MachineGames.
No, Todd. As usual, you're dead wrong. You see, MachineGames is known for their balls-to-the-wall, all-out visceral, gory mayhem. Huge guns taking up the screen, Nazi limbs flying off left and right. They're known for creating over-the-top, goofy cinematic moments, but also creating gut-wrenching, intimate drama. They're known for emulating Tarantino and B-movie schlock in general, and for tackling adult themes and being uncompromisingly provocative. And so, assigning a studio like that to create a family-friendly Steven Spielberg adventure just doesn't even make sense to me. So it's no surprise that everything that MachineGames is known for is not present in this game. The gunplay is a downright embarrassment. Wow. Replaced with a fist-fighting mechanic that is fun, but gets incredibly stale by the third hour of the game. The cutscenes are completely devoid of any style, with flat camera angles and lifeless facial expressions. Like, seriously, they gave BJ Blazko far more emotion in his eyes than they did for Indy. What's up with that? I mean, hell, they even gave Hitler more emotion. And everybody hates that guy. The bold storytelling is gone, replaced with safe, predictable, formulaic mundanity.
We are making a game for everyone.
I don't think any of you guys need reminding that a game for everyone is a game for no one. I found the beginning of this game to be kind of an insult to the entirety of my being, because all they really did was simply just recreate the opening to Raiders of the Lost Ark. Remember that movie? And while this is a neat little bit of fan service, I find it to be extremely manipulative and terrible for a multitude of reasons. Number one, it's creatively bankrupt. They did this This is like Indiana Jones 1. Number 2, they can't elaborate any more on this scene without running the risk of ruining what made it so great to begin with. And so because of that, this game's opening moments are spent walking in silence. Are there supposed to be words right now? This is very, uneventful, which disrupts the pacing of the scene. Number 3, we've already seen this before, and so we know exactly what's going to happen, robbing the intro of any stakes or tension. Oh gosh, I wonder what's up there and comes out of there. Oh, can't go that way because he didn't go there in the movie. Number 4, when Spielberg was putting this together 40 years ago, he never intended for it to be a tutorial for a Game Pass game, so it unsurprisingly does not make for good gameplay, which is why it's overly reliant on QuickTime events. Oh, this is the director's cut. In the theatrical release, Spielberg cut out the interactive portion where the audience has to press W. And then, I mean, come on, pushing a stick down onto a pressure plate 5 times really doesn't make for very engaging gameplay. Number 5, because this scene was filmed for a movie, the boulder chase was exciting, since we could actually see the boulder chasing our hero, whereas in the game, thanks to the first-person view, you just sort of have to imagine that the boulder is behind you.
Man, I knew 10 years ago. I learned to hate you in the last 10 years. Well, where the hell were you? Damn it, don't you leave me down here by myself!
Number 6, their decision to recreate the movie's intro means that the game itself doesn't have an intro of its own. In fact, the entire intro is completely unrelated to anything else that happens in the game, making it entirely irrelevant to the story, which is essentially wasting the player's time. Number 7, it almost feels like MachineGames doesn't have the confidence that their game can stand on its own 2 feet. Instead, they felt more comfortable standing on the shoulders of what came before. The entire intro is nothing more than fan service that was designed to put nostalgia goggles over your eyes, and honestly, I think it's terrible. Early on, you get to go to the Vatican, and the pristine Sistine Chapel was so realistic that it made me feel like I was actually in Italy. Oh la la, sister. I like how you disappear like a ghost. I wanted to soak in every last detail. Oh, la Bibbia. It's a good read, la Bibbia. I wanted to see what the townsfolk got up to. Oh, and she has the power of a Christ inside her bones. He too is blessed with the power of the Lord. He a big fan of la Bibbia. And I was able to appreciate all the beautiful artwork. Oh, is this a handsome devil? Here's one handsome devil. This place was immaculate, and every corner begged to be explored, but something did feel a little bit off. What are you doing? Looking at the corner in the dark.
Those faces.
The exploration was the best part of this game for me. I loved finding keys to open doors that were previously locked. I loved finding passcodes to open chests. I loved finding books with skills in them, and unlocking those skills with my adventure points, which I earned through taking pictures, grabbing collectibles, and solving neat little puzzles. Even though some of the side activities weren't all that great, like one had me buying a camera from the store to progress the main story, and another had me looking for a cat.
Senor Smooshki, here you are.
Like, yeah, they were tedious, but they gave me adventure points, which felt pretty good. But the second area, Giza, is where this whole exploration thing kind of starts to fall apart. You see, everything you did in the first area, well, now you gotta go do it all over again. You need to collect a whole new slew of books, solve even more menial puzzles, and take an endless amount of photos.
I should take photos of all these words.
I should take photos of all these words. That'll be fun for Ren to do. This is unsurprisingly where most people actually stop playing the game, because it feels like we're starting over from scratch. Then, once you get to the third and final area, Sukhothai, suffering Sukhothai, you're expected to do more of the same. Collect even more books, solve even more puzzles, and of course take even more photos. Cool.
Good to know.
It's gotten to the point where raiding old tombs feels like we're charting familiar territory, and it kind of just feels like game padding, especially because the books that you find don't have very interesting abilities. They're mainly just your basic stuff, right? Like health increases, damage increases, stuff like that. Although if I'm honest, I kind of do like the Lucky Hat ability, because it pretty much gives you a second chance at life if you happen to die. Whoa! But unlike Hitler's autograph, for the most part, the abilities don't have a whole lot of value, and that's because they can't. So let's say some of these books could give you some game-changing ability, like being able to flail your whip around you in a circle as some form of crowd control, which would actually be a very useful skill. But let's say the player were to happen to miss that book, or any other book that had a skill of equal or greater value, which could be very easy to do since the books are scattered all over the map. The player would be potentially missing out on a game-changing skill. So the abilities themselves have to be inherently shallow and uninteresting, because if they were to deepen gameplay with important abilities, they would provide substantive content. So then to miss out on an important book would be to miss out on important content. Now, this system would have been totally fine if it weren't the game's one and only progression system. These environments don't feel alive either. The NPCs don't react to your actions in any way. You know, that actually reminds me of another game that had NPCs that also didn't react to your gunshots. It was another Xbox exclusive called Starfield. Hey, did you want to go explore those ruins over there? Well, not in this Indiana Jones game.
Whoa.
Whoa, I crashed into an invisible wall. And then at a point I realized that the map was just filled with so much useless junk to collect, none of which had any value to it. Look at all these shits that the game wants you to do. And I thought to myself, you know who else does this? Ubisoft. Eventually, you pick up so many collectibles that you just start to feel numb to it. Now, if only it could be like that in real life, where every little corner of the world has something useful for you. But it's not like that. Look at this. All I got over here is some little stick that's stuck in the brick. And it's worthless anyway. And trust me, man, I've been out here for days looking for something interesting. Climbing mountains, spanning deserts. And for what? I haven't been able to find anything. Oh shit! Until now, it looks like someone was trying to burn this parchment paper. There's a photo of McDonald's. That is the first ever McDonald's to be erected in the Sparks area, and it exists on 2 zip codes. Look at this, wait, there's writing on the side. Oh, what does that say? Look beyond the arch's gold to seek the treasure of Clown Ron Old. Holy shit, guys. I think we got ourselves an adventure. We're going to McDonald's. I have a quick question though. Have you seen this before? This is part of like some promo.
Look beyond the arches gold to seek the treasure
of Clown Ron Old. Is that a promo?
No.
So it's like a real adventure?
Are you being serious right now?
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time believing you.
Platforming is surprisingly robust, with stomach-lurching jumps complemented by breezily executed grapple swings of Indy's whip.
The design philosophy around platforming in this game is so antiquated that it legitimately belongs in a museum. Climbing animations are not smooth. Then going from whipping to climbing feels awkward. Sometimes when you jump from a whip swing to a ledge grab, the camera goes inside of Indy's head mid-jump and is then jarringly ripped back into third person as he grabs the ledge. It's weird. Your momentum does not transfer when jumping, which is just straight up no fun. The whip feels incredibly stiff, whereas the grapple in Uncharted 4 8 years ago felt incredibly smooth. Then you get these weird moments too, where even though you aren't looking at a ledge, the guy grabs it anyway. But then at other times, Indy will struggle to grab ledges. In fact, this was a consistent issue that I encountered throughout my playthrough. You can't grab? I know you can grab this. I know. Thank you. A continual plague that ceased to leave. Oh, what? I can grab this? What? Wait. Okay, I've been stuck here for like 8 minutes trying to figure out where to go. My buddy's DMing me. He's looking, trying to find me like what? And hey, you know what? Some platforms just don't even exist. Oh, the worst part about it all too is platforming is slow as all hell. Seriously. Oh, but he climbs slower than a grandmother. And because the platforming is so slow, it means that if you happen to fall, well, you just lost yourself a lot of time. Oh my god! I have to climb the whole way again. Indy was climbing faster in Crystal Skull, and he was old when they filmed that movie. Look at him go. The senility in his climbing animations also sucks out all the tension from moments that are trying to be intense or exciting. How am I as the player supposed to believe that Indy is in peril when he himself is moving so lackadaisically? And if you can't move when there's a literal fire under your ass, well then you deserve to die. Seriously, the guy moves so slow it's like he just ate a bunch of McDonald's. Oh, what? That's usually the worst thing you get in these is like a hair. Not a piece of paper. It's a note. It says check out back. Okay. Well, I guess I haven't seen anything yet. What do you... Good find, kids. What do we have? Another clue. It's covered in some dust. Yuck. It says, the ashes within are comparable to cheeks. They must be spread, then you'll find what you seek. These are ashes. These are the old, lost ancient ashes of Ronald McDonald himself, if I'm not mistaken. Legend said that he was cremated in a McDonald's, and his ashes mysteriously disappeared. We're onto something big here. Stealth is a damn joke. They're called Nazis because, well, they cannot see. It is odd. Yeah! There's almost no repercussion for getting caught. So instead of crouching around and actually being stealthy, I found that it was best to walk around restricted areas like I owned them. Because if I did get spotted, it would usually only result in a 1v1 fist fight with whoever saw me. Since apparently no one else around us is able to hear us. Seriously though, if you happen to get spotted, it's really not a big deal at all. The Nazis can't run nearly as fast as you, so they're very easy to elude. Check out this clip I grabbed of me escaping from them as an example. I'm out of here. Now, as if all this wasn't bad enough, their pathing is terrible and seems to block them off from entering certain areas, making running past them all an even more viable option. They can't come down here. Yeah, you grit your teeth. You show them. Yeah, you got a good look at him? And I cannot stress to you how awful the AI is. Can you even come down here and get me, big man? To make matters even worse, you can get a disguise in every single area. Disguise. And what this does is it allows you to walk through restricted areas without being detected at all unless you're seen by a high-ranking officer. And so the very fact that there is a feature which allows you to bypass stealth completely is a clear message to me that the devs had some kind of awareness as to how bad the stealth actually is. And the level design is masterful, right? You're given so many choices as to how to enter and exit any restricted area, but that literally does not matter when the stealth is this busted. So in summation, stealth sections, which take up nearly every section of the game, boil down to you just walking around them like you would any other area, occasionally fighting a guy or two. There is no depth, there is no thought required from the player. It is an embarrassment. But at least I had my own interesting adventure to look forward to. Hey guys. Yes. I'm filming a video here, and we gotta spread these ashes, and I was wondering if you guys knew of like a good scenic spot. Like what would be a good spot to spread them?
There's a lake that direction,
yeah.
right?
There's some nice lakes and stuff.
There's a nice
Over
lake
here?
that way.
Where is it? Shit!
Oh.
think the combat is actually fun. Punching feels great, the sound effects feel great in my ears, the parry animations are really satisfying even though the window to parry an attack is embarrassingly high, and dodging is decent. Now, as usual, I chose to play this on very hard, which actually turned out to be very easy. But the problem I ran into was that after about 2 hours of gameplay, the melee becomes extremely boring. It almost feels like combat is meant to be avoided and used as a last resort, because it has absolutely no depth for a variety of reasons. Number one, the whip is borderline useless in combat. Throughout my playthrough, I almost never used it because I simply didn't need it. It does no damage at all and provides very little value. Like, sure, I could whip this guy's leg and make him fall down, or I could simply push him away, which doesn't have a 2-second wind-up animation that I have to wait on, and I also don't need to specifically aim at his feet, making it the most efficient of the two options. Number two, there are no crowd control options in this game at all. You'd think that pushing an enemy into another enemy would have some kind of effect, but it just doesn't. And so with no crowd control abilities whatsoever, you're pretty much forced to make enemies come at you in a straight line.
Don't quit, I just got started.
Oh, he gave up. Okay, cool. Number three, the AI is really bad.
Let's see how it goes.
Don't be sorry, you did good.
Number four, this one doesn't really have a whole lot to do with depth, but it is definitely frustrating. Junior here drops his melee weapon every time you open a door. Or every time you interact with something.
What? Where'd it go?
Every time he heals. Every time he grapples. Or even goes up a ladder. Or pulls out his camera to take a picture, which is all the damn time. You know what other game had this exact issue? The 7 out of 10 Star Wars Outlaws.
Do a melee attack? Drop your weapon. Crawl into a vent? Drop your weapon. Climb a wall or a ladder? Drop your weapon. Who programmed this?
Number 5. There's only a total of 3 enemy types. Regular guy, big guy, and dog. Bigger guy does more damage than the regular guy. You take care of both of them just by, punching. But the dogs, they're a little bit different. They're extremely easy to deal with. All you need to do is use your whip near them to scare them, and that's it. I scared him pretty good. Now I get that they didn't want to turn Indy into a guy who kills dogs. Like, that makes total sense, right? But the dogs add literally nothing to the gameplay and they almost always jank out. So why are they here? Number 6, the guns suck. And I think the choice to make guns worthless robbed the game of serious fun factor and depth. Look at that! To not have a shotgun kill a Nazi in one shot at point-blank range is a video game crime. Now imagine if there were an enemy type that had a sword that you were meant to shoot. They already have one in the game, but that's it. If this were a more regular enemy type, it would force you to actually think and prioritize targets in combat rather than just flailing your arms around. There could be a variety of ways to deepen the combat too. Just have more enemy types, maybe some combos, make some uppercuts, some haymakers, give us some crowd control options, give us some environmental takedown options, make it so that you can grab somebody's gun with the whip and fling it into another guy's face or pull it into your very own hands. Like, what the fuck? Why can't we do that? The list could go on and on, but this game wouldn't need deeper melee combat if it had decent shooting weaved throughout it. If you could flow between the two types of combat seamlessly. There's only one section in the game where the guns suddenly become super powerful and kill everybody in one shot, which completely ruined the excitement of that scene because it feels so damn inconsistent. All of a sudden the gun is great now? Why? And it's like, where was this gameplay hiding over the past 20 hours? The boss encounters in this game are embarrassingly bad. Nearly all of them can be broken or exploited with ease. You got a giant coming after you? Well, not if there's a museum enclosure in the way. I don't even think they playtested these. The tables in the second encounter with this copy and pasted fight literally break it. This is clearly unfinished. It would have been awesome if he grabbed the tables, flipped them over, or just smashed through them. Later on, they try to shake things up by having you fight a blind giant. So yeah, the fight becomes even easier. And and I learned pretty quickly that he can't hear you if you crouch, so you can get an easy hit on him and then immediately crouch. It's a joke, and it takes all the tension away from this encounter. Okay, but Ren, I hear you say, what about that epic battle against the giant snake? Oh yeah, you mean that awesome fight where you're forced to literally just stand perfectly still and wait for the snake to pop up out of the water to throw a spear at it? Yeah, this is literally the entire fight. But hey, you know what? Maybe this would have been epic if Resident Evil 4 hadn't done an infinitely better job at this exact encounter 20 years ago. Speaking of epic, get a load of that view. Hot damn, that's nice. But this is it, guys. We're here. The final thing to do is to spread these ashes and see what we get. Alrighty. Did you see something happen? Nothing? Son of a bitch. I was worried about this. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Coming out here, doing this whole big adventure, I thought I was onto something. It's something exciting for the video. But I don't, how could I be so stupid? Right? That shit's not real. Ronald McDonald? That guy's fucking fake. And here I am out here with his ashes. I just wanted to give you guys an exciting adventure for the video, you know? But I don't know. I don't think there's anything here. I think I've been on a wild ass goose chase, wasting our time. And I'm sorry, guys, but most of all, I'm sorry to Ronald. At its core, Indiana Jank is extremely tedious. It has tedious combat, tedious stealth, tedious platforming, tedious exploration, and at times even tedious puzzle solving.
Yun Dongnan.
Oh my god. And I am so glad to finally be able to uninstall this damn game. I just wish I could have figured out this godforsaken puzzle, you know? Like, what am I supposed to do with all these ashes? There's nothing to be done. This whole game, this whole adventure has just been a waste of my damn time. And I'm done. That's it. No, stop filming. I'm going home. This video's done. It's over, okay? There's nothing here. Holy shit, look! See that? Look at that. This is Gabe Newellian in Origin. Hold on, I have an idea. Put the camera down. Yeah. Holy shit. We're onto something here. Okay. This is amazing. It looks like the last little bit of Old Ron's magic revealed some kind of Steam code or something. This is showing up on camera, right? Holy shit. We gotta, no. We gotta put this code in. Okay, here it is. Let's see what we've been working toward this whole time, baby. Confirm. It. It was like an ARG. Remember those? That's lame. But at least we've come full circle, right? One great full circle. Now, if you'll excuse me, I got some gaming to do.